U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken heads to Israel on Monday as he continues a diplomatic push to stop the war in Gaza from igniting into a wider regional conflict. Speaking in Qatar, Blinken warned Israel it was imperative to put a premium on protecting civilians in Gaza. Israel is battling Hamas, which is classified as a terrorist organization by the U.S., Germany, and many other countries.
Antony Blinken on a diplomatic drive to prevent the spread of the Israel-Hamas war. After meetings in Qatar, the US Secretary of State warned on Sunday the war between Israel and Hamas in Gaza could metastasize and threaten security in the wider Middle East. In Doha, Blinken laid out his goals, and he had praise for his hosts.
In all of my meetings over the last 2 days, we've discussed ongoing efforts to better protect civilians in Gaza and to get more humanitarian assistance to them and to get the remaining hostages out and home with their loved ones. Qatar was instrumental in the negotiations that led to the simultaneous release of more than 100 hostages, including American citizens, and a pause in the fighting that during that time enabled us to double the flow of humanitarian aid to civilians in Gaza.
For these displaced Palestinians caught in the crossfire of this conflict in Gaza, help can't come soon enough. And the US Secretary of State made his position on their status clear.
Palestinian civilians must be able to return home as soon as conditions allow. They cannot, they must not be pressed to leave Gaza.
But at the funeral of 2 Palestinian journalists killed in an apparent Israeli airstrike in the south of the Gaza Strip, the prospect of peace seems far away. Blinken said the killings were an unimaginable tragedy and that he was deeply sorry for the family's loss. The US top diplomat's Middle East tour continues on Monday with visits that include Israel and the occupied West Bank.
Jason Campidonia is the Los Angeles bureau chief for NBC News Radio and joins us now. So Blinken says that it is essential for Israel to do more to protect civilians and called for more aid for civilians in Gaza. Is this a sign that the U.S. is changing stance?
I really believe that he's there as a show of force. And what he originally said about he doesn't want the crisis in the Gaza Strip to get any bigger. He doesn't want any other groups. He doesn't want any other countries to join in the fight for either side. I think that really is his message. Him going out there and meeting with all these other diplomats and leaders is just a way of saying, hey, America's here, and if we have to, we'll flex our muscle. Critics are already saying that this is a all show, no go event where it's not going to trigger a significant ceasefire or allow aid to get to the people of the Gaza Strip or allow the two sides to somehow come together and call it off or call peace in that part of the world. Right now, it's just being seen as America going out and showing them, hey, we're involved and we're keeping a close eye on the situation at hand.
All right, so America is attempting to save face in the region, it seems like. And the State Department has also said that it expects hard conversations when it reaches out to its Israeli counterparts. Do they actually have any tools that they can still use to put pressure on Israel after 3 months of conflict?
You know, I'm not exactly sure what those conversations are going to entail, but I'll tell you, when a state leader, when the Secretary of State goes to another country and says there's going to be hard conversations, I'm sure there's going to be consequences for actions. What those consequences could be, I'm not exactly sure. Blinken has also said that he wants the Palestinian people to be able to return home, and they shouldn't be forced out of the Gaza Strip. So that might be seen as, changing sides or changing the way America sets up their allies in that part of the world. I can't answer that, but I can tell you that if America says that they're out there and there's going to be consequences, that there will be. I will say this, that critics of Blinken are saying that he's an American doing what Americans do. He's going into another country to tell that country how to run the country. And that may be seen as an offense to the Israeli government. We haven't heard much from Netanyahu talking directly to the president of the United States as of late. But I'm sure some of this will shake I think I think Blinken's out there to shake the trees to see what they can do in that part of the world. And the State of the Union. So President Biden will address the nation in about 2 weeks or so. And I'm sure this is going to be high on the docket because it's a very volatile issue here in the States.
All right, that was Jason Campidonia with NBC News Radio. Thank you very much for your reporting.
Thank you.